Good morning. So, I decided that the best time to talk about my everyday hero would be during communion, because one of the things that Rob's talked about a lot is this being our family meal and having conversations around the dinner table. And I'd like to talk about my mom. And she's here today. She's right over there. And one of the things that I remember that was incredibly important at our house was, first of all, she cooked most everything from scratch. And secondly, we ate around a table together. And at one point in my life, she had 3 teenagers. Well, we were all 4 teenagers, I guess. And being home at night after track practice and basketball and band and all of that stuff, we were not home to have a meal together. So one of the things that my mother and my stepdad instituted was breakfast. And we ate breakfast together every single school day. And if you had just finished in the shower, you had a bathrobe and a towel around your hair. It didn't matter what you were dressed in, you showed up for breakfast. Actually got to the point where we weren't eating breakfast food anymore because it kind of got limited. So she'd put a pot roast in, and we'd have pot roast and mashed potatoes for breakfast. But then when I got home from school, track practice and band practice, there was still dinner I could warm up from this morning. When I got divorced and I was raising 3 girls on my own, my mom moved in with me, and she helped again pass on meals around the table. And there were times when I'd say to the kids, why don't we just get pizza? And they go, we're not going to eat dinner at the table? Well, we could do that with pizza. But my girls were pretty set on the fact that they'd go visit Dad and they'd come home and the thing they wanted was a dinner around the table. And it really didn't actually matter that we ate. It mattered that we were there sharing. And we started talking about the worst thing that happened during the day and the best thing that happened during the day around the table. And my mom helped with that. So my mom went to work at 6 o'clock in the morning and got home to do all of the stuff after school. And I went to work at 9 o'clock, and I did all the before school stuff. So my mom would get home from work, and she'd pick kids up and drop them off at dance class and flute lessons. And then at one point, she was buying the dance classes because I couldn't pay for them. And so she said, okay, well, I can pay for the dance classes. I can pay for the flute lessons. So she did. And I have, one of the things that I did was I asked my daughters to say some things. 2 of them texted me something, and I'd like to read that. Let's see, how do I get back? Hold on. It's Grandma with a phone. We're in trouble. Let's see. Okay, so this is from my daughter Alex, my middle daughter, and she says, growing up with Grandma in the house was truly amazing. She was always there to help when needed. She made sure we made it to dance and to gymnastics practice. Some of my favorite memories include buying my first pair of point shoes and Grandma taking me out to celebrate that when I did my first back handspring. Having Grandma around while growing up, it was really the small things that made the difference. I would not be the person I am today without Grandma and everything that she did. And my daughter Olivia, nope, hold on. I'm working on it. There we are. Olivia said, my grandma was always a support system that was there. At a time in my life when my family was in pieces, my grandma offered me never-ending love, a safe place to go, and forever support. From picking me up from school to teaching me how to bake, she was always there without a doubt. As I have gotten older, I have gotten to know her as a strong, independent woman. She knew nothing about football and yet was determined to learn about it and come to my games because she wanted to support me. She told me women were not allowed to play most sports in her day, and the fact that I got to play football with boys and rugby blew her away. She was so proud of me. Her heart has always been in the right place to give and help others, not only in our family, but to everybody around her. Whenever we baked things at her house, we would offer some of what we baked to everyone around us. To this day, she is still giving baked goods to her neighbors and plays with the kids next door that live next door to her. Her caring heart and unending support of my situation is why she is an everyday hero, just not our family member. One of the things I remember about my faith with my mom is that, I'm going to cry, is that she used to pull up something to read right before communion. And so I asked her what that was, and it was Psalm 138. And so I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to say the prayer for the communion. I praise you, Lord, with all my heart. Before the gods, I will sing your praise. I will bow down towards your holy temple and will praise your name for the unfailing love and your faithfulness. For you have so exalted your solemn desire that it suppresses your fame. When I called you, you answered me. You greatly embodied me. May all the kings of the earth praise you, Lord, when they hear what you have decreed, that they may sing of the ways of the Lord, for the glory of the Lord is great. Though the Lord is exalted, he looks kindly on the lowly. Though lofty, he sees them from afar. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand, you save me. The Lord will vindicate me. Your love, Lord, endures forever. Do not abandon the work of your hands. And before I pray on the communion, I just want to give my mom the medal, the superhero medal.